The Silent Room. Lena had always been fascinated by abandoned places. So when she heard about an old mansion on the outskirts of town, she couldn't resist exploring it. The locals whispered about the Silent Room, a sealed-off chamber in the house where people claimed to hear whispers and see shadows moving in the corner of their eyes. Armed with her flashlight and phone, Lena entered the mansion at dusk. The place smelled of decay, and the floorboards groaned under her weight. After an hour of exploring, she stumbled upon a door that seemed different. It was locked with a rusty chain and covered in claw-like scratches. "This must be it," she whispered to herself. Ignoring the warning signs, she used a crowbar to break the chain. Inside, the room was freezing, even though it was summer. It was empty except for a dusty chair in the center. Lena felt her skin prickle as she stepped inside. The moment she crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind her. Her flashlight flickered, shadows danced on the walls, but there was no source of light to cast them. Then she heard it, a faint whisper. "Get out." Her heart raced. She turned to the door, but it wouldn't budge. The whisper grew louder, overlapping voices pleading and screaming. Suddenly, she felt icy fingers brush against her arm. Terrified, Lena turned around. The chair was no longer empty. A figure sat there, a woman in a tattered dress, her hollow eyes staring straight into Lena's soul. "Stay with me," the woman croaked, her voice echoing unnaturally. The shadows on the walls began closing in, forming clawed hands that reached for Lena. Lena screamed, clawing at the door. When it finally opened, she bolted out and didn't stop running until she was back home. The next day, she told her friends about the experience. They laughed it off, claiming the house had been demolished years ago. Confused, Lena drove back to the mansion's location. To her shock, it was nothing but an empty field. Yet when she glanced at her arm, she saw dark, finger-shaped bruises where the icy hand had touched her. And at night, the whispers began in her own home.